is Sydney.
That's it, Queensland.
Silver Fiji.
That's it, Queensland.
Where is Bowraville?
That's it, Queensland. Queensland's everywhere.
Pat and Heels, good morning to you. We know Queensland is everywhere, but guess what? Queensland isn't in David Fafita's backyard today.
No.
Are you surprised that David has reportedly been overlooked?
Well and truly, yeah. Well, I mean, the News Limited are saying that they've got the squad. And no, Fafita, I can't believe it. I think he was good enough for 3 games last year, and I reckon he's in as good a form as I've seen him in this year. Not wanted.
We haven't got enough room for Sydney siders and Macville and Matraville types anymore.
So do you blokes, now we dissect our team and everyone has their say on it. Do you do that too? Not to the Queensland side, but to the New South Wales side. Do you look at the New South Wales side and say, oh, no, look, I would have had him in, or
No.
do you pull that apart, or you don't care?
Couldn't care less. No, and
Right.
and in Billy we trust. So
Right.
whoever he picks, as he said,
Well, that's boring.
We're happy
That's
with that.
boring. Well, what do you blokes talk about then? Like, if you're not pulling the side apart, so apart from Fafita, are you blokes happy with the side Billy's picked?
Well, yeah, look, I thought I plumped for Dearden because he's been there, done that, and because he's, of his association with Val Holmes, obviously on the left side. So I'm very happy with Dearden. Good defensive 5'8", and I think he'll do the job. Ezra obviously was right in the conversation up here, but that was the major bone of contention. But, yeah, I am really surprised that there's no David Fafita there. I know young Hopgood, they've been nurturing for a while. Brandy, as you well know, he's been earmarked for a Maroons jersey for a year or two right now. So no surprise that he's in the squad. I'm a little surprised in the makeup of the bench, to tell you the truth. We never know whether Hunt or Grant's going to start. That'll be a decision made on match day. I'm pretty certain. But to have Selman on the bench, but just talking off air, you seem to be a fan of that, of having Cobbo in your 17.
Well, he's the only player. If you were going to omit one of those players on the bench for David Fafita, it would be Selwyn. So the coach is thinking, do I go with another forward who I know he will get game time, or do I go with coverage for an injury? And that's basically what Selwyn, who has played fullback, centre, wing, he can cover anywhere in the outside backs because you can find yourself short if you haven't got cover for an outside back. And look, we found it last year. When Tom Trbojevic went down in the first couple of minutes, there was no outside back coverage. Yeah. And that's you take the risk, especially if you've got to move a back rower, generally a back rower out into the centres, with someone like Reece Walsh. And we saw that yesterday at Suncorp Stadium with the Titans back rower who was moved out into the centres, Bo Firmo. Yeah. Reece Walsh in the opening 15 minutes just tore him apart down that left-hand side. So that's and that's what Billy would have been weighing up. Do I go with someone that can cover an injury, or do I go with someone who I know will get game time? Selwyn mightn't play. Like if Queensland are playing well, Selwyn might get 5 minutes at the end of the game, but you have got coverage for an injury.
Well, he has got versatility as well. Quite often we get conservative loyalty, but if these decisions are reported, they're pretty big, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, boys, you say you're not going to rip away the Queensland team or analyse Billy Slater. You'll do that towards New South Wales. The 6 debutants for the Blues: Dylan Edwards at the back, Joseph Swali'i, Zach Lomax in the back 5. You've got Cam McInnes locking the scrum. Then on the bench, Hamole Olakawatu, Spencer Leniu. Do any of those 6, or which of those 6 strike fear into Queenslanders?
Edwards, straight away. And look, I don't know. It's a fair question to ask. Have we now, barring accident, injury, have we seen a changing of the guard? Drops the captain, but I'm a massive Edwards fan, and his work rate and. Yeah, look, I think he'll be a brilliant, dangerous addition for the Blues.
Well, they're great players, aren't they? All of them. Did anyone predict, even in your ranks, Suali'i and Lomax being together?
I think Joseph Swali'i and Zach Lomax's name has been, thereabouts.
Yes.
There's been chat about Lomax Heels down here in Sydney, about him, possibly getting an origin spot. And his form was good for the first 5 or 6 weeks of the premiership. new position, playing on the wing.
Yeah.
There was talk down here about Joseph Swali'i not being selected because he's going to rugby union next year. I didn't. There's been a few people say that, but I wasn't buying into that.
Absolutely not.
He's playing rugby league at the moment. I don't care whether he's going to rugby union next year. If he's good enough, if you think that Joseph can play a part in New South Wales winning, pick him. So I've got no problem with that. And I had Swali'i in the side that I thought that I was trying to get as close to Madge as possible. Nico Hines is a worry for us because he came off the field with a calf injury, with a HIA first, and then the calf tightened up. He's missed footy already this year through that calf injury. So that will be the one that we'll have to monitor through the week to make sure that Nico's fit. If he's not fit, Luke Keary is there to step into the number 7 jersey.
And Patton Hills, Brandy and I were in Canberra on the weekend to watch the Roosters rack up a score against the Raiders. And one of their influential players off the bench has been named for his Origin debut. I'm looking forward to Spencer Leniu being injected with those crazy eyes and setting his sights on maroon jerseys in the cauldron that is Origin. Who knows what is going to happen when Spencer Leniu is thrust into Origin?
Well, he should be very fresh. He's just played 4 games, so big, fresh and fast. Well, he is a danger. How do you think Tedesco and Latrell Mitchell and their mindset will be not being picked in this first game? Will they still be positive and ready to go if needed?
I'm sure they will be. I'm sure they will be, Hills. Latrell's been in and out of the side over the last 6 years, so Latrell's used to missing out and then being called in if, in fact, that's the way they want to go. But when we win game 1, there'll be no need for them to come in.
Good call.
But Teddy will be Teddy would be ready if he was called upon, I'm sure. I think he'd be taking it the hardest. The fact that he was the skipper, the fact that he's been in good form, but Dylan Edwards' form over the last 4 years has been undeniable. You just can't go past him. He's the better player at the moment.
And Brady, you had the Blues winning 3-0, not necessarily because of the players the Queenslanders have picked, but the ones that they couldn't pick, as you told us earlier on. And boys, I'm keen to get your reaction. No Tino Fa'asuamaleaui, no Tommy Flegler. They were the players identified by Brandy as being the big outs through necessity. They're injured. There are some names missing from Queensland significantly, aren't there, as well as New South Wales?
Yeah, you're throwing someone like Gilbert as well. I mean, you're talking a brace of players, which you've got on the bench. The Olakauatus, Lenius, Hudson Youngs. I love that for Origin. I don't know, Brandy, I reckon you'd agree. You want those people that get in your face and upset the opposition. And, we lose a little bit of firepower there. But, as I said, I've got all faith in Billy. Who will mould this side in the way he wants them to play, and he's been obviously planning on it and devising it over the last 6 months.
I'm a bit with you though, Paddy. There's no way we can win this. There's absolutely no way.
Well, you're underdogs again, I think.
I've checked the prices. They are absolutely favourites, rock solid, rolled gold favourites, the maroon. Heels, very quickly before we let you go. Mitch Starc and the Kolkata Knight Riders celebrating the Indian Premier League final victory overnight. Now, Mitch, we know the buckloads of cash he's been paid, but as Brandy and I touched on a short time ago, it's paid off. He's taken 5 for 48 through these 2 finals games and got the Knight Riders home.
Yeah, how good. And right through, he's ridden a roller coaster to start on really flat roads, not in great form. Then he's cleaned up Travis Head in the semi-final or the qualifying final and just gone from strength to strength, but never been a different person. The same person right the way through it, and that's just what he does. He gets himself ready for big moments, and he took another one. So Kolkata beat Sunrisers Hyderabad.
And now they set their sights on the T20 World Cup in the US and the Caribbean. Pat Heels, great to chat this morning. We'll do so regularly as we head towards the Origin Series opener. Have a great Monday, men.
Will do. Thanks a lot,
You too,
mate.
guys. Thank you.
See you, boys.